Good morning to each and every one of you. I hope that you had a great night rest. And those of you that are actually in other parts of the world, I'm pretty sure your day has been good and it's about to get better. We're going to have, for the third time, the conversation concerning the perception point, and it has already proved to be a very massive um, discourse and very prophetic and scientific and neurological. If you are watching me, you are watching me through the lens of your eye, and the things that I'm saying, you are having one perception after the next about what I'm saying. And that is the space where I want you to begin to do some very intentional work, your perception, the space that is in you that sits between the soul and the spirit, sometimes called the I. I want to help you do some work at the perception point. I want to help you do some work surrounding your sight and your eye. Every time we have the conversation, your eye is getting clearer and clearer. I want you to take a moment and say, right now, just speaking over your sight, and say, my eye is clearer than it's ever been before. My eye is clearer than it's ever been before. We're speaking over that space that sits between the soul and the spirit, that sits beyond the brain and the mind. And there's a component of comprehension that we've got to do prophetic work and psychological work that has the power to change how you see. Your ears receive an upgrade, your eyes receive an upgrade, your sensing faculties, the goosebumps, the hair on the back of the neck, all of that. We are focusing in on that, not only building it up, deepening it, but also protecting it. Propaganda can change your perception. Gossip can change your perception. A rumor can adjust your perception. A conversation with the wrong person can shift your perception. We must converse, we must engage and exchange. So that's why it's important for you not only to have your perception clear, but protect it. Because everyone you touch and everyone that touch you, everyone that you hear, and everything that they show you has the power to adjust at the perception point. And so we're going to have conversations. Last week we talked about perception deception. And on today, we are going to have a conversation that will accomplish a few things. We're going to first look at the sacred text of Christianity, African and Western, and we're going to look at some texts surrounding perception. And then I'm going to speak some truths about perception. And I'm going to talk about the perception equation: input, interpretation, conclusion, and response. And then I'm going to talk to you about what builds or damages perception, certain tools that heighten perception. And then I'm going to end it with the four distortions of perception. And then I think we'll be ready at that moment to express our gratitude for this prophetic moment by way of the monetary seed. Now, while we are together, and this whole conversation is one big seed for our harvest of intelligence and brilliance and sensitivity later. But the seed that is monetary, we are attaching to that an intention in the word of our perception. So this is going to be an amazing trip. Prepare yourself for it. Get your notes and everything together. You may want to pull the children around. You might have to talk a little bit, explain and break some stuff down. Maybe you want to do that after so you can make sure you get everything. But we're going to have more conversation around the perception point, and I've given you a bit of a syllabus for today. So prepare yourself and get ready. I'll be right back.
Looking for a vibrant community where faith meets empowerment? Welcome to the LRL community on Patreon. Here, you'll gain access to our financial wellness plan to level up your money game and the Build Your Immune System Health and Wellness Lifestyle Plan to keep your health in check. But that's not all. With the groundbreaking AIR project, we're creating jobs in Africa, beginning in Ghana. Plus, you'll unlock insider tips from senior executives across industries. And the best part? Be a part of our daily prayers, weekly coaching sessions with Dr. Larry Reid himself, Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, The Breakdown Q&A Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on Patreon, and so much more. It's time to connect, grow, and thrive. Get the apps, grab the merch, and join us on patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. Let's build something amazing together. The LRL community is waiting for you.
I know many of you have been having dreams, and I want to help you decode this message that Spirit is giving to you. See, you are consistently receiving signals, and you're consistently seeing symbols. Some of you have been seeing numbers, and then you dream these things, and you're sitting in a wonder. Well, I've created a chat GPT. I want you to click the link, and I want you to download it, and it'll show up on the left-hand side, and it says, the Dream Guide from the side. I've been interpreting dreams for many years. So click the link, and you are going to be able to have me in your pocket, on your device, on your phone, whenever you wake up first thing in the morning. Write down the dream, and then copy and paste it into the chat GPT. Then it's going to give you the interpretation and explain to you the symbols. Be very descriptive in your typing up of the dream. And then what it gives you, I want you to copy and paste and put it back into the space where you record all of your dreams. These dreams are like a letter that comes from God, unopened. And with the chat GPT, you will be able to open this letter and read the message that is coming from the mind of the Spirit concerning you and yours. Click the link right now. There's another chat GPT that I want to introduce to you. And this chat GPT is for those of you that are decolonizing and deconstructing in the world of your faith. As a Christian, we are taught to beg, ask the Lord, the Master, the King, for all of these different things. And that type of praying, we have used it for years, and it has worked because of our intention, but there's a better way to pray. And this new chat GPT is going to transform the way that you pray and help you pray decolonized prayers. This is where you pray with the understanding that God is not outside of you, but operating through you as source, creator, the divine intelligence. Begging is not praying. And begging while you're praying is not the best way to pray. And this chat GPT helps you pray in a way that is both spiritual, technicalized, and empowering, bringing together your mind and your feelings, your energy, your body, all together involved in the manifestation of what you want with your mouth. Your mouth is one of the greatest manifestation tools you have. And this chat GPT is going to teach you how to pray it into form. Download it right now. You see the link, hit the link, and it's going to integrate with your chat GPT.
Church Critic by Dr. Larry D. Reid. An examination of the Larry Reid Live Show perspective. Available now on Amazon and Kindle. Inside, he shares his unfiltered perspectives on the issues the church often avoids: the role of women, deconstruction, fatherlessness, homosexuality, decolonization, and the clash between Western and African Christianity, and so much more. Get your copy today on Amazon and Kindle. Multimedia personality, comedic commentator, songwriter, recording artist, spiritual leader, author, and actor. Larry D. Reid is the founder of MBN Global, owner of LDR Enterprises based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and the spiritual leader of the Reformation Church of Atlanta. You can catch Larry Reid on the BET Plus original series Kingdom Business and on American Gangster Trap Queens, streaming online at pt.plus.
A lie has been told to you, and you have believed it.
It still has such an intensity, and the energy and the vibration in that place, you can feel it once you arrive.
At that moment, they allowed me to release my emotion.
Columbus never set a foot on any American soil before he died.
The lie is being exposed.
This is for real. They took our strong and able people, but they could never take all Africans away. And today, we have returned in peace.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get started, although there's some things that we're trying to work out on the back end concerning some other things that we need to tell you about this morning. But if we are able to get that done, we will tell you about it. I want to say thank you to those of you that participated on this past Wednesday when it was time for us to do the donations, and you remembered what we are doing in Africa. Project Africa is rising. Some years ago, the Spirit spoke to me and told me that Africa must rise and Africa will rise, and the future belongs to Africa. Put that in the chat. The future belongs to Africa. And the very fact that in this community, we often talk about African Christianity, and we frame a lot of the prophetic teaching and mystical teachings with the African lens, is not coincidence. We have been on a journey together, finding, excavating, and really digging down and looking into some foundational things as it relates to Christianity. It's part of the deconstruction process. But in this community, we've had a heavy lean as it relates to the Africanization of our spirituality. And this began before I met you and before you met me many years ago in North Carolina, when I was doing another work and doing a different type of ministry. And I was very influenced by the nation's culture, the Indian culture, the Asian culture, the Islamic culture, and the culture of many, many other different brown people. But the African culture changed the way I dressed. It changed what I wore. It changed what I wore on my head, and it changed what I preached in for several different years. So there has been this deep connection to the nations of the world that has been going on with me for a long time. So as we begin in 2020 to really get back into the prayer component, I had been off the line for about a year and a half. This prayer session began July of 2011, June, July, in the time of the J's of 2011, and it continues now every Tuesday through Friday. But in that process, I have been looking for what it is that was missing, and I was connecting with it decades ago, really. And so now I'm much clearer, and I am now a citizen in one of the countries of Africa. So I have dual citizenship, and I'm actually working on a few other things. And I'll tell you about that later, which many of you, if you can, you should have options for your money, options for what market you put your money in, options for your citizenship, especially right now with what is happening in our world. Um, and Project Africa is Rising is something that is very dear to my heart. And I showed you this 4-minute advertisement some time ago. I'm not going to share it now since we're a little late, but you get to see what the wages are of Ghanaians in Africa. And it is horrendous. Let me tell you something. Capitalism is wicked, but capitalism can be done in a very humane way that's not so predatory and toxic like it is in America and a few other nations. And what has happened in the motherland, and I want you to understand my terminology, the motherland, the mother from which we all come. As Black skinned people, we have a responsibility to make sure that our charity begins at home, and that is the motherland. And as a result, we have taken on a responsibility, and it is not a light one. Part of what we do here supports what is done there. And most ministries right now can only be focused on what they are doing locally. But as a ministry that sits in the responsibility of global change and global impact and global influence, one of the first things that Spirit had us to be concerned with when I took 12 people to Africa was the Ghanaian citizen being brought above the scratch line. And I am happy to report to you that our monies that we have here have helped them there. And we are just getting started because we are finding new ways of doing just that. It started with hiring Ghanaians for one of our businesses there, but now as MBN Network Global has expanded, we have 3 businesses there. So we're able to hire more people, contractors, and we're able to be a part of something that is really dear to my heart with the MBN Global Farms, and not just the transportation and transfers and tours, but we also are able to create food. Now it will be exported, but it also will be spread around Africa. And in about 3 or 4 years, it will begin to take care of itself. But right now, we're funding every aspect, every piece of equipment, fertilization, irrigation, everything we are funding. And in about 3 to 4 years, it will begin to turn a profit and it would sustain itself. But whenever you are starting anything, you know you have to fund it. You had to do that with your business. And many of you are business owners or contractors, and so you understand how that works. And I want to say thank you for supporting us on this past Wednesday and we were able to clear what it was that we needed for Ghana. Now, this is the new week. Every Sunday is a new week. I don't know if I'll get a text from there saying, okay, we need to do this. One thing I do know, and Mother Diane, who's in our community, she just came back from Ghana, and she went over there to view our offices, and she actually saw the new office. I haven't even seen it. And we have to fully furnish 3 offices, a kitchen area, a conference room area. So today, when I speak to you about your donation, I want you to think about, you may say, okay, I'm already set for the $44.88. I already know that's the partner level. But that top level is $488.88. I want you to think about that, because we want to be able to do any and everything that comes into our heart to do as a global entity that will help someone else and push the vision forward. The only limitation is $1. The great thing is that there are many of us, so we can put a little bit together and it ends up doing a lot. So I want you to consider the $488.88 donation this morning. Some of you can do even more than that. Well, for those of you that can do more than that and you're watching and you're not a Celestial Circle member, you can do $2,026 donation. And if you do that, you get into the Celestial Circle. That by itself is worth more than 2026, because you create a community of people and of resources and information and engagement in a time, y'all, where it's pretty difficult to meet people that you even vibe with. Come on, tell the truth. So that alone is enough. But in addition, you begin to realize quickly that there's so many teaching resources that you can sit with for the next year and just learn. If you're a Patreon member, you can just go through there and through the collections and just take up the next 6 months of learning. But in Celestial Circle, we have some other things where you can learn. The School of Prophets and Mystics, absolutely phenomenal. And if you decide to become a Celestial Circle member, you're already an MBN Network partner. But go ahead, it's time now. This is a great time to become a Celestial Circle member, especially before our event in July the 24th through the 26th, where you have special seating. If you're a Celestial Circle member, it's a great time to do that. So you get the School of Prophets and Mystics in addition to helping Project Air. And you also get the first 2 sessions of band. That's right. That 12-week program that really is worth about $50,000 or $60,000. You're able to get the first 2 sessions of that. So you can kill several birds with the one stone of $2,026. Consider that, and I think you'll be so glad that you absolutely did. So thank you for what you did on Wednesday. Now, what we're going to do on today, and I've already pretty much given you an outline for it. You may feel as though I'm moving a little fast. It's because you already missed the first 2 parts of the perception point. The turning point and the tipping point is the theme of the year and the theme for January and February. This is a turning point, tipping point year. You know now, Dr. Reid, you hit that head of the nail when you said that December the 31st, 2025, we have been in a turning point and a tipping point year. And so we talked about that in January, the turning point aspect, and February, the tipping point aspect. And then last month on March, we discussed that as well. Anybody remember how we termed the prophetic point of March? Do you remember what March was? I know the turning point and the tipping point, like, is the main thing in your head. But last month was a very important month. Do you remember what the theme for March was? Anybody? I'm looking in the chat. The trajectory point. Correct. The trajectory point. We begin to look forward and talk about moving from marching forward. And then we came into April talking about the perception point. And this is the space that is inside of you that's responsible, not just for your cognition, but the perception of your cognition. And also the space and place from which your perspective comes. It sits in you, but nobody can put their hands on it except you. It's the world of your consciousness and the world of your sight and sensitivity. It is the space and the place within you that sits between soul and spirit, between mind and body, and it derives and it shapes its points of views. The perception is extremely important to protect and cleanse, empower, and have so much hygiene around your perception. You got to now more than ever, because deception is running our world, particularly if you're in America. America is a propaganda machine and has perfected hundreds of years on how to manipulate the movement, the mind, and the considerations of its citizen, painting the picture and the illusion of freedom and protection and power that does not exist anymore. At one time, it was true, but now it is not true. And from the beginning of our country, we have created an illusion of independence and freedom for all, but it never was. And it's extremely important that you see that, you know that, and can perceive it. Because if you can't, you are already asleep. And it's my job to wake people up out of the sleep. And I may say some things that may be shocking, but it's just to pull it back some and to circumcise some of that overgrowth of the skin over your eye so that you can see and really perceive. I'm telling you that you are a victim. I know you don't feel like it, but you are. You are a victim of America's plot and ploy that happened through entertainment, through the educational system, and the Christian religion. And you're waking up and you're healing. You're deconstructing in the world of your faith, and you're reposturing some things. And I'm so glad that you are. And I'm holding your hand through the process, but at the same time, I ain't playing with you. Like I said the other week, you got an allotted time to get it. And then after so long, along the way, probably about 5 years from now, the masters are going to begin to show up, probably as early as 3 years, who will sit to my left and to my right. I'm talking to you. You think I'm talking to somebody else in the chat, maybe somebody who name I call a lot or a Celestial Circle member, but I'm talking to you. This is your moment of education. This is your moment of getting all of the data you need in order to show up as a teacher. You're a student, but you're also a teacher. So everybody here is a student teacher, and everybody here has a responsibility to make everybody in your life, in your world that cross your path, clear. And you can't do that until clarity has been born in you. So I am assisting you. 3 to 5 years, we're going to start seeing a master or two show up beside me. But by the end of a 10-year period, you're going to be looking at a network. What do you mean? A network. I'm the master in this network. I'm the Papa Prophet, the teacher, the founder in this network. But the masters that are forming beside me, they will bring to our community people we've never met. See, they're not going to steal from this community like we've seen happen in other instances, but they're going to go and build their own while they're a student here, coming up through the ranks. Celestial Circle, Celestial Gold, bam, master. And they are going to connect us to an entirely different network of people, but still be a part of this network. That is the vision, a global network, several masters, several community operating and moving as one that spread around the entire world. I'll have an Asian master. I'll have an Arabian master. I will have a master that comes from the Mediterranean. I will have a master that comes from the down under Australia. There will be another master that's from the Bantu tribe. And then there'll be another master that is stationed in Europe, a European master. And we will all be a network, one network that spreads around the world. So I'm talking to masters. I'm talking to those of you that will head up your own networks. So you got to be able to say it the way that I explain it, because this is an interfaith hub. And I use the terminologies that you should use if you're talking to the world. So you got to get it and you got to understand it. And you must be able to teach it and exemplify it. And this is how you multiply and duplicate and make after your own kind. So your perception is extremely important in this process of impacting the world, because you impact the world from that space and place that you perceive it. And so the work that has to be done in your eye, in your mind's eye, in your spiritual eye, the work that has to be done at the core of who you are is important. And it need to be at the top of your list. Especially if you're a business owner and an entrepreneur. Your business is literally your business. You see, a lot of people don't come out here telling their business, but your business is literally your business. What is going on in you is going to show up in your business. Your business can't be and will not sustain itself as a projection. Your business is going to literally be the truth about you, your management abilities, your cognition, and everything. So do the work in the realm and the space of your perception at the core of who you are. And that is going to impact the world, that and your business. And remember, your business is your business. All right. And I'm pretty sure band members heard that statement and heard it in a different way because of our conversations around our brand. Because your business is your business, or rather, your brand is the result, sum total of your business. And you got to have your business worked on. Work on your business. When I say work on your business, I'm not just talking about your LLC, your nonprofit, your corporation, your S Corp. When I say work on your business, I'm talking about the way you speak, talk, think, act, ethics, value system, ridding yourself of hypocrisy, arrogance, second guessing yourself. Work on your business, please. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh Lord, I'm 40 minutes in and I have said so much and I ain't even in my notes yet. I just start talking and the spirit just start flowing and giving us what we need. Isn't that amazing to y'all? It's amazing to me, and I'm the one it happened to, but I be sitting back a ways because I'm not sitting right here. I be sitting back amazed. I'm not sitting right here. I'm sitting over there watching me do all this. I'm up there looking down amazing. I know that's right. Ooh, that's power, and writing it down. You know, that's really what's happening. But you think it's me, but I'm actually catching a flow, and then the spirit is coming out of my mouth, pulling from my education and memory. I've done my business, and I'm still doing my business. You see. Okay. Kendra says a great IG clip. A.T. Gatlin, Amanda McDowell, ain't seen you in the chat in a while. Hello, you've been missed. Erica Batson. Several of you I've been able to prophesy to this week. Thank you for giving me that opportunity and supporting the vision at the $488.88 level. Because those that donate at that level, I am able to send you over a clip of me just listening to the Spirit on your behalf, a prophecy, a reading. It depends on the way the Spirit moves. But thank you for giving me that opportunity. And hopefully, I will have about 25, 30 more this week between today and Wednesday that I'll be able to speak to. If you receive a personal prophecy in the form of an audio from me this week, please raise your hand in the chat so that people will know that I'm not lying. That when you donate at $488.88 here, I will contact you and I will get to you the prophetic word. Put it, raise your hand so folks know that I'm not lying. Good morning to you. Yes, your business is a mirror of who you are. Your business is your business. Your business tells your business. We can know about looking at your business. Okay, so many of you, thank you, that I've been able to minister to. And this week, and let me tell y'all this, I think that in itself over the last couple of months has been a working, because really we started it heavy in this calendar year, because having your own personal prophet speaking to you is extremely important. There's another prophet that works in the community as well for those who donate at the high performance stakeholder level. Even if it's him prophesying, you're still getting connected to the prophetic stream that is in this community. That is extremely important for you to hear what the Spirit is saying concerning you by way of your personal prophetic community. It's extremely important. So that's smart that you're doing that. You're literally making an investment in your own future, and you're making an investment in this vision and in this work as well. I pray the blessings on you and I speak them. Okay. Good to see all y'all in the chat. If we did a 2026, will we get that from it? Yes, that comes exactly. All of that. I left out some of the things that come with it, but the things that come with it, you're gonna get all of them. We're gonna make sure you get all of them. And shout out to the contractors who have worked on the processes. And I must say that the contractors have the process down to a science. And I also want to shout out the volunteers and the advisory board and those of you that operate in the chat during our live shows as moderators. All of that is part of the process that made this work. Thank you, volunteers. Thank you, contractors, so much for helping us upgrade this process over and over and over again. I said this in band, but I've said it several times. 3 main aspects of your business that can determine its success. And it is the product. And I must say the product here is exceptional. But the process around the product and the people around the product, that is what you got to focus on if you want to be successful. So that work never ends because the product is in consistent upgrade. And so the processes have to be in consistent upgrade. And the people must be in consistent upgrade. When the product is in consistent upgrade and the processes and the people surrounding the product isn't, then at some point in time, there is some conversations, some changes that have to be made. Processes may need to be adjusted. That means people have to be adjusted so that we can continue, so that you can continue to have an amazing product and an amazing business. And so let's go ahead on, because if I keep on talking, it's going to be 10 o'clock and we ain't discussing nothing that I said we're going to discuss. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Latina. I appreciate the prophetic word. It's confirming and encouraging. I love that I can sow at that level more often to support this network and receive insight. Amazing. Does your headpiece have a name? Yes, but I can't say it. Kendall May can look it up and then I'll tell you so you can order it off of Amazon or from some African store. My cousin Karen got me this one for Christmas. Or was it not Dot? One of them, they sent it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Look at our agent of change and order. Amen. Let's move forward. Y'all see that? And this is one of the ones, Tamara's the other one, on the back end that just be making sure I stay on schedule. And from the contractors, I would have to say is Mark that always got something to say. and it's I'm an air sign, and the way my stuff work is flow. But the flow needs structure. And Nicole Johnson also, because she makes these visuals afterwards. And she says it's easier when there's more structure in your teaching than just lecture mode. That made me a great college professor. I was a professor in the Bible college, because most professors is just lecture. And I can literally sit and just talk on a topic until I exhaust it and exhaust you. But I'm not going to do that. Kendall's going to find the name of it. If you take a picture of this, of my screen, drop it into ChatGPT and ask what is the name of that he is wearing. It's slipping my mind. Or you can ask Lloyd. Yeah, he'll tell you. Yeah. Okay. In the words of CJ, let's move on. First thing I told you that I wanted to do is look at some of our sacred texts that sort of talk about perception. Psalm 119 and 18. And today we're in the 8th moment because we come to a 17 day. 7 plus 1 is 8. And look at the other numbers. So this is a very important day spiritually for the community. And so this is very important because it's the 12th day as well. And then there's the number 4. Because my numbers are 8 and 12, 8 and 12s are significant. It's a significant overlay on whatever your personal numbers, significant numbers are. So you got to always pay attention to 8, 12, 4s, and 3s. Okay. Psalm 119 and 18. Open thou mine eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law. See, this is one of the clearest biblical statements on perception. Because the eyes, the natural eyes, see. But this is a prayer and a request that's about perception. It's about inner sight, undersight, through sight, round sight, oversight, insight. That's perception. So this is one of the clearest biblical statements on perception. If you want to write out this text and put it on a mirror, because we're in a month of this, to just marinate or meditate on that would be great. In this particular text, sight is not treated as merely physical. Because if you got eyes, they see them, but the prayer is open them. Mm-hmm. The writer is asking for inner sight. And this sort of let us see that you can have eyes that are seeing and eyes that work, but not be able to see the truth that is present. That's why the prayer is open my eyes. My seeing eyes are seeing, but they're not perceiving some information or some truth or some fact. So open my eyes. My eyes are seeing, but I don't have sight. Open now my eyes. So this is what I want all of you to say and pray right now. Open, eyes open. I command my eyes to open. Or thanks God for the opening of my eyes. That gets us to inner sight or insight, perception. Mark 4:12. That seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not under or understand, lest at any time they should be converted and their sins should be forgiven them. So this is another text about perception, Mark 4:12, and today is what? 4:12. Did you see the syncopation before I said it? How many of you saw it before I said it? When I said Mark 4:12, you immediately saw 4:12. Let me look in the chat. How many of you saw that? There's a little delay. I'm waiting to see. Shirley says, I saw it and yelped. Monica said, I saw it. Erica said, I saw it. Great. That the work, Charles said, I saw it. That means you're already in perceiving mode. You're a pretty perceptive person. Shonda Gray says, I saw it. The moment you said it, I saw it. Yeah, that's that syncopation that lets you know we're in the right direction. I hadn't had a moment of deja vu in a while. How many of you experience deja vu often? This is your perception screaming at you that you are not seeing something. That's what that is. That's your perception saying, come along, come to the side, get quiet. That's what that is, deja vu. And I hadn't had a moment of deja vu in so long. And I had one the other day. I think Shamaka was with me, and I spoke it out. So, Marco, however long it was, because normally I'm with you when I have it. The last time you heard me say that, that's how long it had been. And I said, when I go out this door now, this is going to happen. I said, and Kendall's not in his room, he's walking the dog, which I didn't know in the natural. But I remember the moment. And I said, and that let me know that my perception is screaming at me to come along to the side, get quiet, because there's something else to see. That's what that means. It also means that you are literally right where you're supposed to be at that time. That's what I accepted as a confirmation of my goings about. Dominique, you were typing it as I was saying it. I just saw it pop up. So you were typing it as I was saying it, how I receive it. She said, I don't know how true it is, but that's why I said what I said. I said, for me, it means that I'm right where I am supposed to be. Yeah. And there have been times when I've had a deja vu moment and I said, oh, wait a minute. Back up, everybody stay still. And then something happens. And so deja vu can keep you from experiencing something or change the way that you're experiencing or having that moment as well. But whenever that happens, I've always received it as I need to get quiet and I need to meditate more because there's something that slipped through the cracks and has showed up in this space that I forgot. I personally have never had any traumatic experience except for one time, and y'all heard me tell that story, that spirit didn't warn me about before. Not one thing. Is that because, oh, Larry, you so powerful? No, that's my commitment to pray. I won't never forget, as a teenager, because me and God got connected at 15. So that's when I started connecting to myself. Because the connection to God and connection to the deepest self is the same. Deep calls unto deep. So when I was just learning certain spiritual laws for Larry, which one was a prayer commitment, I negotiated. I said, I'll get to it later. It was a certain position I prayed in. You may have that in your spiritual history, or you may be developing that or in that space right now. There was several different times in my personal life I was to pray at certain times, at certain spaces and places, and I had to keep that commitment. And in that season of my life, there was a certain position I was to pray in. I was negotiating it because I was busy. And long story short, it wasn't until I was in jail, that's a long story, that I remembered Spirit was trying to show me that this was going to happen and that it was happening for the purposes of ministry. So that was the one time. Shamaka remembers it. My mom remembers it. I called him from the jail and said, he let something like this happen to me after all I done sacrificed? I can't believe this. I ain't preaching no more. I ain't prophesying no more. I ain't singing no more. I'm going to go do my own thing. I'm going to go back into law school, become a judge, and live my own life and be regular. I am done. How you going to do this? That was my conversation. I said it. Went back to the jail and in minutes remembered. And I dropped to my knees. I said, oh my God, and repented. And from it's just us. So I could have let that one go. I just swallowed a couple of tongues. And from that day to this day, oh God, that will never happen to me again. It will never happen to me again, because I will not negotiate that. It happened. I was a teenager. But I told y'all that story. How many of you never heard the story? Lift your hands. Somebody said, you might as well go on and let it flow. Yeah. And that happened, and it just won't happen again. There's never been nothing, no thing. And even as recent, since it's just us, even as recent as relates to certain lawsuits that I'm dealing with from being the business owner. Oh, I forgot about that here right there. And the other lawsuit from someone that we all knew. I knew it before it all happened. I could feel it. I was in Dubai. And I said, XYZ is trying to XYZ. I felt it. Kendall, were you in the chat? Yes. Okay, so that means I told Kendall, Nathan, Junior, and Shamako in the chat. It was a tether. I said, something is happening. And that was days before. Mm-hmm. These are people saying they have heard it or they never heard the story? Never heard the story? Okay, let me tell you. No, I said raise your hand if you haven't heard the story. Or did I say raise your hand if you have heard the story? If you have heard it. Okay, so quite a few have heard it. Okay, good. All right. All right. All right, so good. We ain't got to go into that. So you see these sacred texts in a different way now. Psalm 119, 18, Mark 4 and 12. Let me give you a few more. 1 Enoch 1 and 2. Enoch, a righteous man whose eyes were opened by God, saw the vision of the Holy One in the heavens, which the angels showed me. And from them I heard everything. And from them I understood as I saw. Now, all of you that talk about Prophet Lovey and myself, maybe others I haven't heard, who say an angel of the Lord showed me or an angel told me, and then I give you a prophecy and the information that's coming from an angel, and you said it was a demon and a familiar spirit. In the original Bible, we have an occasion, several, but here in 1 Enoch 1 and 2, an angel is given sight and given prophecy and information and giving an understanding. So this is why you heard me pray the other day. The angels of perception move amongst us. The angels of prophecy, the angels of healing, the angels of intelligence. They are ministering spirits. They minister to us. Then you go down to 1 Enoch 82, 2 through 3. The wisdom passeth their thought. Ladies and gentlemen, we talked about this on last Tuesday when I talked about praying in tongues and how it bypasses that fear center, those spaces in the brain that will filter too heavily the input, silences all of that, bypasses it, and gets to our cognition and to our perception. 1 Enoch 82, 2 through 3. This wisdom passeth their thought, and those who understand it shall not sleep, but shall listen with their ear, that they may learn wisdom. Your sight and your hearing capacity spiritually is how wisdom and the truth gets to you. That has to be protected. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it's been played with through every preacher on the pulpit. Your Christianity, your entertainment has played with that aspect of yourself. At the perception point, we are reclaiming our perception and our awareness faculties and sensing faculties. All right. Saying angels are demonic is crazy work because angels are messengers of God. Yeah, but in Christianity, baby, they push so much about falling angels, the demons. I would say that we have an obsession in Western Christianity with demons, witches, false prophets, and prophecy or prophesying. It's this obsession with making everything a demon. It's interesting. Okay. So if I am hearing and seeing, I am kept from spiritual sleep, according to 1 Enoch 82, 2 through 3. Let's look at two more. We're going into the Gnostic text, the Nag Hammadi. In the Gospel of Thomas, saying number 17, Jesus said, I will give you what no eye has seen. Ooh, help me. And what no ear has heard. And what no hand has touched. And what has not entered into the heart of any man. Did y'all hear that? Jesus said, what I'm going to give you, Thomas, is pure, untouched, unredacted spiritual truths that are going to change how your eye work, your ear work, and your heart work. How powerful is that? That's empowerment. That's why they snatched these texts and gave us a made-up Jesus. Because Jesus was a problem for the empire. Because Jesus was teaching inner perception. Jesus was teaching inner standing. Jesus was teaching empowerment, and that God is in you. Whew. Thomas presents perception as access to a reality beyond the ordinary senses. There is a layer of knowing that the normal eye, the normal ear can't reach by themselves. Oh Lord, this is so good to me. I feel several quickenings. Oh, we've been deceived, but now the scales falling off our eyes, and we're about to be powerful. Our most powerful self, because we finally can see. We finally can hear. We can finally receive. They gave us another heart, but now our true heart will be able to receive. Now y'all see why this stuff was thrown away. Let's go to another Nag Hammadi. Let's look at the Gospel of Mary. You know, it's fragmented. So I just pulled it. I didn't even put the numbers beside it, but y'all can probably find it with ChatGPT and they'll tell you where it's at. But I think this is in the Nag Hammadi, or maybe in one of those fractured texts that they found in Africa. It says, I saw the Lord in a vision. This is Mary. Now remember, Mary was the closest to Jesus, not the apostles. They don't teach us that in Western European. She was the main apostle. And she said, he does not see through the soul nor through the spirit, but the mind that is between the two. That is what sees the vision. This is why they got rid of this. This is straight up spirituality. They will call New Age. Is actually ancient wisdom. I want you to say, I see with the mind that sits between my soul and spirit. Put it in the chat. That mind is perception. So this text explains how Mary witnessed Jesus's perception ability. She viewed his perception ability as the point within the self that sits between the data that comes through the soul and the data that comes through the spirit. That's the perception point. And your perception must be trained. And your perception is shaped by, number one, what you consume. This is your spiritual and informational diet. Your perception is shaped by what? Number one, what you consume, your spiritual and informational diet. Number two, what you were taught. Now, this is at church, in religion, at Big Mama house. This is at the university. This is at the seminary. Everything you were taught. Number three, who you trust. That means the voices you listen to, the authorities you listen to. Get rid of all of the trust you had for journalists. Get rid of all of the trust you had for the president. Get rid of all of the trust you had for the Republican Party and for the Democratic Party. Get rid of it. Once you get rid of it, you will be able to see it. You have trusted the wrong voices. Last one, your perception is shaped by what you've experienced. This is wins, losses, betrayals, and traumas. I want you to breathe and say, I got to do some work. I got to do some work on my perception because there's some stuff in there that done twisted that thing up. And I got to get it clear and clean because I'm going to need this in the marketplace. I'm moving with contracts with the government and these amazing companies handling millions of dollars. I have this company over here. We did $1 million last year. We did 500,000. I am a mom. I am a sister. I'm a daughter. You gotta have that space in you. Maintained, managed, cleansed, manicured. You got to, because you need it. That's your cutting edge. You walking around here with sight. Most got eyes. They don't have insight. This is how you're going to know before they tell you. This is how you're going to know the company is going under 3 months before they tell you. This is how you're going to know that your job is phasing out before they tell you. This is how you're going to know what course to take to get overqualified. So when they come to you and ask you, you say, I have this new thing that I've done, and now they have got to give you more money. Having that insight is going to give you the cutting edge in every situation. It's going to cause you to be in the know, not in the news. Are y'all hearing me? And there's certain environments that you can get in that will help you perceive and receive. And we're going to talk about that. Before we begin to have this conversation, and you've got to become a student of these lives, because right now it's crucial. You ain't got to be here live. That may be better for some of you for your learning, but you absolutely got to be a student of it, because your perception before this teaching was what you or them or they or it had conditioned you to see. Maybe your own brain. But now you're going to be in the work of coaching your brain by way of the mind that sits between the soul and the spirit, the information that's came from both realms, and perceives and processes it all. So your perception point is being reconditioned, recalibrated. That space in you called perception. Now, the perception equation I mentioned was input plus interpretation plus conclusion equals response. Put that in the chat as an equation, please. I'm going to try to do it. And then you can just copy and paste it. Candace wrote it. This is the perception equation. If the input is contaminated, and I want to just sit there. I mean, cause this is why I said sit in the know and not the news. You're consistently getting input, even from your conversations when you're on break, on your way to work, when you're working with the team, when you're sitting in the boardroom, when you're sitting with your team, when you're scrolling your news feed. All of that is input. And y'all, let me tell you, the input is contaminated. All of it. Larry, how can you be so sure? Because I'm talking to you. I'm not even looking at the intentional contamination that others in your life may be, may have some kind of ill will or something. So what they're presenting to you, that's contaminated. I'm not saying that's not true, because it is. But the way I know all of it is because of your perception. Your perception is the sum total of the conditioning. So I want you to throw out what you have perceived. Maybe throw out is not the right word. I want you to survey what you have received and measure and look and see the conditioning and begin to recondition your perception. If the input is contaminated, then the interpretation will be distorted, and the response now becomes a harvest, because the response is a seed. Tow. See, we respond or react to input, not reality. Oh, this is so good. We do not respond to reality. We respond to the input, the interpretation, and the conclusion that we have arrived at. Okay. I got to go hard stop there to the next so I don't be too late. Oh, it's 9:21. Jesus Weezus. What builds or damages perception? Then after that, I'm going to talk about the tools that heighten perception and the four distortions of perception that we're going to end. But after I do this part here, what builds or damages perception, we're going to begin to do all of our seed sowing and support of the vision and worship and activating our faith and our working. And then I'm going to finish the rest of it because I can't let this go over to Wednesday, because Wednesday is the 15th, correct? Can you check and see Wednesday the 15th? The 15th. Okay, so the 15th, 16th, 17th is the Aries stellium. So I'm probably going to go live Wednesday, possibly on the main platform, to talk about that more. We opened up this teaching discussing that, but we really haven't. And we explained it, but we just probably need to talk about it some more. So that's probably how Wednesday going to go. It's possible I don't do that and we're just being Patreon like we were this past Wednesday with just us. It was a great exchange. You need to go back and watch it if you didn't. This morning, we're not public, but I did send the text to those that have said that they wanted to know when we're doing this. But typically they don't come until later on. They watch later. So it's basically just us right now. So what builds or damages perception? Number one, spiritual diet. Number two, prayer, meditation, rituals, energy work. That means that those of you that aren't working with candles and water and doing workings and libations, you're keeping yourself from the deepening, widening, strengthening of your own perception. Sankova, remembering, going back to the old ways, has a psychological, mental, and spiritual payoff. So your perception is built every time you pray in tongues, you meditate, you're in a ritual, candle work, energy work, you are fine-tuning your perception. You are becoming more divine. Hence, it's called divination or divining. Divining isn't just indicative of the work itself, the divination itself, but it is indicative of what is happening to the person that is actually doing the working. You're becoming more your divine being. Number three, what builds or damages perception? Religion, guilt, control systems, fear-based religion. So we know that's a complete damage. Fear-based religion, guilt, control systems, they damage perception. But let's also look at this, how that damage that church hurt could also cause you to go on a quest for healing and information. That happened to many of us. So although it initially looks like a wound, it can turn into a win because the pain itself guided you. Pain has aim, and pain can literally cause you to aim for something new or just for the healing of the pain itself. But sometimes we aren't always aware on the front end. But by the end of the thing, we look back and we see, oh, this fear-based religion and the guilt that they crafted in my soul and that control system actually was the doorway for me to begin to deconstruct. Are you following me there? All right, so number one, spiritual diet. Number two, prayer, meditation, rituals, energy work. Three, fear-based religion, guilt, control systems. Four, Information intake, we've discussed that enough. 5, news, social media, AI, conversations, we've discussed that enough. Number 6, repetition programs your perception. So this can be good or bad. Like I said, this is the list for what builds or damages perception. Education level. Please, please, please remember this one. We do not pay enough attention to this. This is why clarity is a rarity in the United States of America, because education is so low. Your average American citizen, 6th grade, 5 or 6th grade, comprehension skills or reading level. This is by design. You cannot control and anesthetize an entire civilization that is educated. You need them dumb. You need them stupid. And America has made sure that its citizens are mostly stupid, mostly driven by pleasure and sugars, and addiction is rampant here by design, so that you can be easily controlled, conditioned, and programmed. But where there is education, there is an increase of the possibility of revelation. Education causes you to look, search for truth. The rigor of education turns you into a researcher. We don't need that. We need you to do what we say and stay hijacked. America is amazing at what it has done and what it is doing, following the Babylonian model that ruled the world and the Roman model. Next one, what builds or damages perception? Exposure to frameworks that promote thinking. Not degrees, not degrees only. But exposure to frameworks that promote critical thinking. This is a framework. Reformation is a framework that promotes critical thinking. And you don't need to just have this one. Hey, you need to be involved in several different frameworks that promote critical thinking. See, that is the caveat there. Several different frameworks that promote critical thinking. The more, why? Because the more frameworks you have, the more angles you can see from. Another one that builds or damages perception, we've already discussed, voices you listen to. That would include mentors, prophets, and influencers. Can you give me them one of them bag of notes, nuts at my closet? I'm hungry. Oh my God. Oh Lord. How many of y'all hungry? Oh, Jesus. But y'all, see, y'all got the privilege of eating while you listening to me. But I'm hungry. Oh, my Lord. So I got to have a couple of them nuts and stuff that just help calm that pain down in my stomach. Oh, my Lord. As I eat these nuts, I say that they taste to my taste buds like eggs with cheese and onions from Waffle House. That they taste like a light skin waffle at the Waffle House, not one of them dark ones. And it tastes like bacon from the Waffle House. That floor be dirty and it's a whole mess, but you's a liar if you say it ain't good. Grits with cheese. You just got to go in and look up. Don't look at the floor. And let's pray over and go back and eat it. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Let's see if that helps. Mm-mm. Oh God. Okay, I think I'm okay. It's calming down. Clarity is a rarity in the U.S. is a bar. You right, Charlene. That is, ain't it? This Larry Reid too. It's ours. What are you talking about, Marco? You said I'm shocked you saying this. I can go the rest of my life and never go again. I can cook my own. We're talking about Waffle House. That's all you can do the Waffle House eggs. If I can cook them, I wouldn't have to go. Because I thought you had learned how to do it. You don't know I can't cook. I'm called to eat and to taste it and see if it's right. Now I'm the king of that. I can tell you how to make it even more. But if I got to cook it, need that DeMarco. Who else be out here cooking? Alicia be posting all the time. Of course, Chris Taylor is a whole chef. Who else is there? I leave that to y'all, Travis and y'all. No. Yeah, I can make salads. You're right. That's exactly right. Boy, you've been following LRL for a long time. Look at CJ. Look what she said. And this is why her daughter is the way she is. She get it all mom. Selena just like her. Selena say however she feel, it's coming right out. Okay, Jay Tyler. I actually I don't always get that. I get more so the grilled chicken and egg meal with a waffle on the side. Okay, let me stop. Let me go further. Oh, that's it. So let's do the donations. And then while y'all doing that, from the time it is now until about 5 or 10 minutes before 10, then I'm going to start recognizing. So I'm going to put this up while you get to look at this and choose which way you want to show up. 4 different levels of giving, because everybody here is on 4 different levels of faith and finances. I did see one person ask about the 2026 The Celestial Circle. You go to the website, mbnnetworkglobal.org, you click Celestial Circle, and there you can choose. Maybe you want to just do $488.88 today and then pay the rest of it over a period of time. You can set that all up right there on the site. You choose Karma or one of them other things. So you make a decision what level you want to donate at. And then these are the places and spaces and the levels. Places and spaces with the mechanisms through which you're able to do that particular seed. Now, on the left is there is the teruma. And the idea of the teruma is your personal prophet, supervising priest, the person, the chief inspiration, the teacher in your life. Every time you get paid before you do your 10% tithe, you do 2.5%. So that's teruma tithe. But You may not be tithing today, but you may say, thank you, Dr. Reid. I enjoyed that. And you send to Dr. Larry D. Reid Ministries over there on the left. Some of you have my phone number. You do it that way. But when you do it that way, it isn't always recorded. But if you do the ways that are listed, it's always recorded. Mm-hmm. Links to donate are pinned at the top of the chat. I'm going to ask that at least one of the somebody put it at least brand new in the chat, meaning a fresh post, because some people are not going to scroll up. And remember, those of you that are participating, $488.88. Not only are you getting that opportunity with me, but you're really helping what we are doing internationally. And I really want to go right now. Let me say this because you could be in here. Let me just do an ask like my pastor used to, Bishop Stevenson. Listen, I really want to go ahead now to South Africa. I got to take me, Mako, and Kenda at least. Cover that to go there to see if I can find somewhere to operate as a base for MBN Network Global versus here in Atlanta. I'm here in the studio, as you see. I want to move this out of the country. I think this would be a great time now to go and find that. I have found somewhere, but I ain't there. I need to look. I already did that before. And one of them went well, the other one didn't. I need to go and find it, secure it. But Reformation is coming up, and we're in the middle of the month. If you're listening and you're watching, and you say, you know what, I want to help that. I want to do that. And let's suppose you are, I don't know, you have, let's say at Reformation, you're already planning, you're going to do a $50,000 offering. And you say, versus me doing the $50,000, I'm going to do 40 and send 10 now. So you can go ahead and do that. So then you can make the announcement at Reformation and not take from whatever the ministry got going on now. If you can do that, thank you. And just send it right to the ministry and tell Miss Pat. And that's towards what you're going to be doing on Reformation Day. And let me tell you why I think I need to do it now. We've had this as our headquarters a year in June. And I don't want to do it for another year because it's time now to renew. Yes, they're increasing it, but it ain't a horrible increase. I think it's like $400. To me, there's a lot of money, but to you, it may not be. I look at $10 bills twice, okay? So that's just how I am. And so I think I at least have the information to know location, if there's a possibility, I'm going off what I sense, so I can check it and see. Because there's so many things that's pointing towards South Africa and has been for 3 years. And that will be way better for the ministry. I've already got one contract that has agreed to actually move over there as well. So, who pretty much, along with everybody, but he pretty much central to the whole team. And that'll put us both in the same area, same time zone most of the year. Even when I'm in Dubai, we could work the time zone different because it ain't but 3 or 4 hours. With America, it's a 3 or 4 hour difference. When I'm in Dubai, it's difficult for us to work together because it's a 9 hour difference. So it's just centrally better for what we do and what I'm called to do and what some of you are called to do, whether you know it or not. So if you are that person, let me know. Or maybe you say, you know, Dr. Reid, I want to do it, but I want to do it to Dr. Reid Ministries, and I want to be able to get $10,000 worth of personal coaching. Now, I know I can hear Soul, I can hear Constance in my ear saying, you sure you want to do that? Because you'll be using the money for MBA Network Global versus yourself. So let me not do that. So let's just keep it with the ministry. Because that ain't right. I've been doing that a long time. I'm correcting all of that. The minister, me is me. So let's not even do that. So let's keep it with MBN Network. Okay. All right. So these, I just corrected myself in real time. Somebody celebrate me and say, good job. In real time, I just corrected my darn self from my ways. I did it. I hear the voices in my head tell me, say, no, that's you. Who said that? Tamara said, that's a hard no. Yeah, I got it. Good job. Thank you, Alicia. You is you. MBN. Okay, you're right. I did a good job. You see now? Becoming more aware. Look at my perception already working. All right, Kendra is starring each and every one of you as you are letting us know what way you're supporting. Thank you so very much. I'm going to continue on. Is that okay? Good job. A teacher leads by example. Thank you for your leadership. Right. I ain't gonna put that on y'all. Then in your business, you be obligating yourself for the business and undercutting yourself. So I can't do that. All right. So I'm gonna get to recognizing your seeds in just a few minutes. It's a little bit too much on that. Yeah, thank y'all. Okay, so let me move ahead on while that is happening. Okay, the tools that heighten your perception. Now, what have we covered today? We did the perception equation. That's powerful. I can't wait to see what Nicole do with that. She might do two, because a lot. What builds or damages the perception? I started with some truths about perception by looking through sacred texts of Christianity, Western and also African, and the Gnostic Gospels, the Nag Hammadi. And now I'm going to talk about the tools that heighten your perception. Let me see in the chat. Are you guys enjoying this? I'm enjoying this. Nancy. Well, how much snot you got? That's all them tissues you done went through? Well, Jesus. Have you enjoyed this? Have y'all enjoyed this? I'm enjoying this. This is like, I love this kind of conversation. Even the part where I was rambling. I love it. Say it again now. Well, somebody can make it a book. It won't be me. I got other stuff I can do. I was looking over the balcony yesterday. I said, and I began to call forth help. I said, those that can help expand my ministry and my businesses, those that the part that's in my blind spot, apps and coding, where are you? I began to just look over the city and just call it to me. Because I got a lot going on in here. And it can be multiple products and millions of dollars, but I can't do it all. I have vision for it, but I can't do it. So those have to come. And all the funding and whatever and all, they're calling it in. Okay. All right, so let's look at the tools that heighten one's perception. And this may be interesting. And these that I'm going to name are ancient, they're body-based and neurological. Number one, dance. It syncs the body to rhythm, and that increases awareness. Now, ain't this just making sense about the black church? I mean, I can't give it no legs. It's 9:46. It also breaks mental rigidity, because when you dance, there has to be some abandon and some let go. I mean, you can do a choreographed, stiff neck nigga kind of dance, but the idea of dance is that you let it flow and you just go. You don't care about how you look. That's very difficult for men. And you just feel and you just move. And you just let it be. And however it go, however you move it. And you just connect with the music, with the rhythm. Or that can be actually something you plan, or it can be in your head. And that can weaken the tie that you have with certain theological approaches, with certain neurological looped automatic thoughts. It can disentangle you from that tie you have with him or with her or with it or the situation, moving the body. Sometimes it can shake yourself free. Increase awareness, breaks mental rigidity. Another thing that can heighten perception, and this can be married to the next, is rhythm. What? Yes, rhythm. Because it trains pattern recognition. And it helps you detect timing and cycles. So staying on beat. And notice Africa is on the rhythm, the colors, the blacks, the rhythm that we clap on, and the rhythm that not so melanated people clap on. See, this dance and this rhythm are key to putting you in number 3, another tool that heightens perception, the trance. And see, the trance is where your brainwave states get altered. You go gamma, beta, theta, delta. And the dance and the beat, the music, the rhythm, all of that. And the trance is where your subconscious begins to get acclimated in the moment, and that increases your ability to interpret. Another one tool that heightens perception is breath and breathing. That literally resets the nervous system and puts the nervous system in a space and place where it can get a clear signal, because it allows you to begin to quiet the noise internally. And what I'm saying to you is psychological, is neurological, and anthropological, but it's the truth. So I ain't just pulling this. This is from my life, and this is from neuroscience and anthropology and psychology. These tools will heighten your perception capabilities. So this lets us know you cannot heighten, deepen, expand your perception with information alone. Your body has to be trained to perceive. Ooh, I want to take so much time there, especially around the dance, since we're about to be together dancing in just a few months. July the 24th through the 26th. Reformation Experience 2026. Put in the chat hashtag Reformation EX26, which is the official hashtag for Reformation 2026 this year. It is the objective and goal as announced in 2024, which now makes a lot of sense, that our next Reformation will be in South Africa. That's what was mentioned. It wasn't a thus saith the Lord, but it did come out of inspiration. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move along. Let's go into the 4 distortions of perception. And we got 8 minutes left. But really, we start at what time? 8:18? So I'm going to have you out in less than 2 hours. That's the official hashtag. So we really want you guys terribly involved. Your trip on the way when you're getting ready, social media content, hashtag Reformation EX26. We are in a, lack of better words, competition amongst content creators. And I already see I see 2 people who are really doing well. Really doing well. I'm looking, I'm watching. That started April 1 all the way through May 31st. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, you should have already signed up. So you can't sign up now because people already started creating content. So they're already ahead of you. So, mm-hmm. All right, so let's look at the 4 distortions of perception. Number 1, and this is going to make so much sense. And this is no order, it just is. Number 1, trauma. And what happens here, the distortion, is because the past pain, it becomes the filter of all inputs. You misread people, you misread situations, tones. You misread because it resembles. Don't you tell me I misread. That's how he said it. That's how he said it to you. But if they're telling you that's not what they meant, you have to consider that. It does not mean what you feel is not important, but you have to at least be objective in subjection. If you are wise, smart, and a proper human, you know that everything is not always perceived one way. That is how he said, well, that comes from your past trauma. And that was the tone your mama would speak to you in. That is the tone that your ex would speak to you in. That's the tone that ex-friend used to speak to you in. And you just can't take it right now. And I get it. So I'll change my tone if I need to, but you need to realize that it's coming from your darn trauma. Neurologically, traumatized people, they detect danger even if it's not there. What do you mean? Remember how I told y'all energy, just let it be, no judgment in the space, and just let it sit in neutrality. Well, to the traumatized person, neutrality feels dangerous. It can feel like, I don't know what this is. Let me pull back. Or it can be like, this feels dangerous because I can't define it. That comes out of trauma. Your awareness center just needs the observation. Now, of course, your mind is going to add meaning, but that's a different conversation. But just let it sit in observation, neutrality. But the trauma is going to give it some meaning. You're going to end up misreading. Wow, just talking about this yesterday and Friday in a counseling session. Lord, I know people think we talk and share, but I promise I haven't talked to them. I think people here, maybe it's the new people, man, have been, they're sharing information, but everybody here hasn't seen it so much and in real time. They know. Okay, number 2, for distortions of perception. Number 2, desire. Oh, okay, Reid. Yeah, you know. It makes you see what you want to see. There used to be this person that I was coaching who thought everybody wanted them. I mean, they weren't ugly. They had a nice little shape. But this is Atlanta. I remember when we private, so y'all know I know Pastor Phillip. And Pastor Phillip from Kentucky. You know what I mean? He look all right. He ain't ugly. Nice looking. But in Kentucky, he's like fine. The best looking, you know. And in the church world, he's 40 years old, I ain't even answering. 40-year-old pastor, I think he is. He's 40 now. 40-year-old pastor, that age, y'all know these pastors be bad-bodied and just horrible. So pretty exceptional. But then he moved to Atlanta. He said this. He said, everybody around here look beautiful. Everybody got nice. I'm in the gym. Everybody's body is nice. Everybody got a nice set of abs and shape and booty meat and thighs. So yeah, you're exactly right. He said, it took me through a change. I'm so used to, but everybody looks good. Getting back to what I said about the person that thought everybody liked them. I mean, every person, I mean, they looked all right. That's how Philip got in this. They looked all right, but they want all that. And they thought everybody liked them. I'm talking way back in the ministry years ago, the other ministry I had. It always coming to, I think they were trying to hit on me. And I know that the other person ain't studying them, but they won't used to people being nice to them. It was actually what was at work was their desire to be wanted and their desire for attention. And they were seeing what they wanted to see, which is somebody liking them. Desire makes you see what you want to see. And makes you, and this is the clincher here, makes you ignore the contradiction. Y'all, that is a psychosis. I hate to say that. Let me say that's a mental disposition that is interesting. Let me say that. Don't want to diagnose nobody. But I've seen this. I've seen a man and a woman who have hooked up 6, 7, 8 times. And the man say, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't want it. But the woman say, but you fucked me. But you did it and you was erected and you came. So don't tell me you didn't want me. Didn't understand the depth of human behavior and the cues and the unspoken words and gestures and sometimes spoken ones that he gave that was saying, I wasn't down with this. But there are people who do stuff and possibly say stuff and their intention, their want and desire is totally different. Because I would say, if you didn't want me, why you slept with me? And then they say, well, I had told you that I really wasn't into you like that. I had told you that it would be just sex, and I really didn't want to have the sex with you, but I really want to go back and forth. hurting your feelings because I really like you, but I don't like you like that. There's a whole lot going on. And everybody don't have the tools to move and work with desire, because desire is part of your divinity. And most people do not know how to divine with it. And it can literally cause you not to see somebody saying, I ain't studying you. Or you won't be able to see their actions and behavior really contradict somebody who really wanted to participate in this with you. Desire can be distorted. And you end up falling into an illusion and a misalignment by way of your own desire. Let me look in the chat, see what y'all saying. And some of the women are going to be saying something. I feel like Larry and I have shared, Mako. I was working all this out in my hand, working out in the gym. Okay. All right. I'm working on it. I see that Buddha Meat video you posted, Dr. Reid, and I definitely was like, where is that? I know the workout video of the, yeah. Mm-hmm. So Michael said, wow, so true. It's a little delay. But I want to see what some of the women are saying with this here. Mm-hmm. Been there, done that, you guys. I played both sides of that. To where my desire was blinding me from what was being said and done, even the cues that I should have picked up. You know, because somebody can say, yes, I want it, but what they're wanting is their fix from what it is that you're giving them, and they really don't want it in the way that you're offering. And that can be a confusion. And that confusion can last for decades until one day there's a conversation and somebody say, well, I really never wanted this and I never enjoyed this. That's difficult, but it happens. Mm-hmm. There's a little delay on y'all response, so I can't see. So let me move ahead on. The 4 distortions of perception. Number 1, trauma. Number 2, desire. Number 3, fear. Now, what fear would do, and remember, in the middle of fear is ear. In the middle of hurt is ear. In the middle of year is ear. In the middle of here is ear. Don't want to get off into that, but I just want you to be cognizant of that every time you see these words, because the ear plays a key part. Just like when I talk about when somebody call you messy or me messy, LRL messy, root word is mess, messy, messenger, message. Mess is necessary. And you calling me messy because I'm a messenger with a message you don't want to hear. So I just want you to remember that when we see fear. So fear magnifies worst case scenario. And that word fear is ear. This is why you got to protect yourself from certain types and kinds of news at certain times. Because when you hear it by way of the ear, it can create fear. And that fear can spread throughout your perspective. And now everything that happens, you magnify the worst case scenario because of your own fear. Mm-hmm. And whenever fear comes in and hijack, it shrinks your ability to be clear. Clear. That word ear is in there. So keeping your ear clear can protect you from a moment of fear. Number 4, programming. We're talking about the 4 distortions of perception: trauma, desire, fear, programming, which we sort of already discussed. And that programming Your perception can be distorted by your programming that come by way of your family, your church, the culture you live in. We will be in the American culture and the church culture, possibly. Your race, systems, school. When you hear and experience the same thing over and over, like you do in the culture, in the church, in the family, the systems, and as whatever race you are, that repetition creates truth in your brain. And that's because your brain recognizes that it's the truth. And then your mind, that repetition also reinforces that the brain is thinking and processing is true. Do you know how much work you have to do? This is why it's deconstruction. If you're not a yes to deconstruction, your brain and mind is going to protect your belief system that you've already developed, and it's going to hinder you from seeking any truth and any new information. And with that being said, in light of these distortions, many people don't have a perception problem, they have a distortion problem. And if your perception is off, your life is going to be off, and your decisions, they follow the offness of it all. So the perception point is where the lens gets cleansed, and you separate subjectivity, objectivity from your internal activity, and you observe both and be clear. No distortion happens here. Discipline your inputs. Train your body and your spirit to perceive. And allow your awareness to deepen. We're complete. All right, if you enjoyed this teaching, put it in the chat just so I know, because that's important to me. All this is pointless. Let me sit here in this here chair. So this is part 3. Now, if you are on YouTube, you can actually go to the playlist on YouTube and see part 1, 2, and 3. And I think actually the tongues teaching is in there. If you are a patron, you'll be able to watch those links. Masterful. Okay. Thank you, Tiffany. You're a smart chick, so that's big. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Akeem, thank you. Thank you, Nancy. The trauma. I got you. It was enjoyable, Queen. Thoroughly enjoyable. Okay. Great. Use it and then teach it to somebody else. Oh, really? That's great. You always say that, Charlene. Okay. You said I hit all the cylinders. Okay, Shelley. Mother Irene, coming for you, that means a lot. You've lived 80-something years. You've seen the best of the best and probably the worst of the worst. So that means a lot. Thank you. Right. Correct. Thank you. Use it. Learn it. Be able to teach it, please, or this is pretty pointless. Okay, I want to thank the Quincia for your Taruma and your partner seed. Thank you. Thank you, CJ, for your super seed. Can't wait to minister to you this week. Letitia, thank you for your high performer seed. Shamaka will be calling you. Thank you, Beverly, giving me the opportunity to minister to you this week and helping us with what we're doing in Project Air. Linda Pro, thank you for your partner seed. Dorothy Curtis, thank you for your partner seed. As well as Candace Johnson, God bless you. Hope you are well. Latina, thank you for your partner seed as well. 44 partners is what we're calling in partner seed. And we're calling in 10 high performers, 10 stakeholders, and 10 super seed. You got that, Kendall? We have 5 super seeds already. Great. All right, partner seed, Tam, thank you. Super seed, Shonda Gray, thank you. Oh, you don't went through this list. Okay. Dominique did over partner seed. Thank you so much. Super seed, William Jones, thank you. I love the opportunity to minister to you, to see into all of that. Shelly, God bless you. Thank you, T.E. Price. Thank you, Carrie Jones. Partner seed. High performer. Shamaka's going to be speaking with you guys, the Batsons. Thank you, Amanda McDowell. Thank you so much, Mother Irene. Got it. I got it. 15 towards Ghana. Okay. Partner C, Sandra, thank you. Partner C, Vonda, thank you. Rhonda Jones, thank you for your partner seed. High performer, Shamaka going to be calling you, Stephanie. Thank you. Thank you, Fola. Thank you, Lucy. How you doing? I ain't seen you in the chat in a while. How is everybody back home? Do you have any family that's back in Africa? And where in Africa? Lori, thank you for your partner seed. Thank you, Tamara, for super seed. Great to speak with you this week. Great. Perception point seed, thank you. I'm thinking those are partner seeds. Shamako partner seed, thank you. Dow's stowed over the partner seed, thank you. Partner seed, Dr. Kim, thank you. Cerise partner seed, thank you. Leslie Clardy, partner seed, thank you. Charlene seed is they didn't say it, so I'm thinking it's partner seed. Gail partner seed, DeGrossard, how you doing? I always remember your whole name. I can't do that to everybody, but I can. So the Aristelium, it happens this week. We are already in the energy of this thing. We talked about all of the things that will be happening on or around April the 15th through the 17th. I just got word this morning from someone that is in Dubai who's currently in Bali or Thailand while they got stuff going on. And he's an investor too. Black man. And he said, he sent me something. And I saw that JD Vance, I guess he flew over there to the Middle East to do some kind of conversation remedying, but it did not work. And so he's flying back. And I'm pretty sure America anticipated things not going well with the negotiations. And so we are here. If they pursue, which is basically set up for that to happen on this week or in a few days or the next couple of weeks, we understand when they were speaking of peace and ceasefire, we already saw in the heavens to not believe it. And that any quietness will be temporary because there will be something else that will happen. We're just in the time of that, the first 10 years. So from 2024 to 2034, it's going to be unpredictable. And ladies and gentlemen, those of you that are Americans that are near retirement, you need to be considering retiring outside of America. If the entire administration that have caused all this will be removed one way or another right now, we still have about 6 years of cleanup from 2 years of Trump. And even with that 6 years, it's really longer than that, because if you look at the appointed Supreme Justices, those are lifetime appointments. So we have some problems that's going to linger for decades in light of that. So I really want you guys to participate on Wednesday. I may do that on the main platform, because the stellium begins at 10:04 a.m., if I'm correct, on the 15th. Do you guys remember? Because I gave it to you. I think it's 10:04 a.m. that it starts this week. Sandra Woods, thank you for the partner seed. Kristen Patton, high performer. Shamako going to be calling you. Betty Cox, 10:04 a.m. I was right. Okay. Betty Cox, thank you for your partner seed. Thank you for supporting us. Angola. Okay. It's a what hat? Who calls it that? Oh, it's a smock cap. All right. According to Ghana, they may call it something else in Nigeria and call it something else in Kenya. It's a smock cap. Okay. Tell Lord I said to find me some more. Please. Say it like a Ghanaian. Dr. Reid said, find him some more, please. And then say, thanks, please. That's how hold on, am I saying Ghanaian? That's how you say it. I'll be saying Ghanaian. It's Ghanaian. You just talked about what, baby? Angola. Where is Angola at? Is that Eastern Africa? Can you check and see? And she said she got businesses there. Is that the no? Because there was a place that we met somebody from. It's Central Africa. How difficult? I just want to see some examples of some. I need an all black one, definitely. Oh, I love that, Shelley. Definitely. If you are listening to me and you make around 4,000 or 5,000 a month, and you make it from home working for a business, don't tell them you moving nowhere. Move. And continue to make that money in dollars and live like a king or a queen in another part of the world. Get used to whatever it is over there. America and the UK have done an amazing work in causing their citizens to get used to certain things and to be one-dimensional. We really should be, as prophetic and apostolic, mystical people. We should have some depth to us to where we can find home in more than one place. And been in America for so long, when you go places, the colonizer spirit that you were raised by wants to make every place you go be like America. That's the colonizer's influence on you. You should be like what Apostle Paul mentioned, the revelation of what he said. when he said he's in Rome, he became the Romans. You have to know how to get into a culture and adapt and acquiesce and become a student and learn respectfully. And what I notice with a lot of Americans is that we go places wanting the American experience, or we go there wanting what we want from that experience, and being a little bit of a bully as relates to that, and not really getting in a culture and becoming a student and embracing it humbly and learning. That keeps you from expanding. Yeah, exactly. So if you don't have to go in and punch a clock or report and you're making money, you need to consider living the good life. The American dream is not in America. The American dream is not in America. The American dream is more of an American plan that you execute in another space outside of America. So if you can make money in dollars or make money in pounds or euros, and you continue to make that money, then look at these places where your currency is stronger and see if you can find something that you desire to embrace or live, and get into the culture. Priscilla Ayala, thank you. Partner C. That's true, Gail. We do that. We travel. We want the same food, activities, music, instead of opening ourselves up to different experience. We go to other countries just to go to the club like we do in America because of different people and different music. That's just you being a colonizer. You want to go places and have a better version or another different version of the same experience you create and curate for yourself here. We even do it when we go. We if we go to Miami, we're gonna be looking for. Some of us are gonna be looking for the same kind of chain that you normally eat from, whatever that food chain is. You find it down there. That's not how you're supposed to travel. You're supposed to travel and get engrossed in the culture of where you're going. This expands your palate. We have a travel expert here says, I make it a point to do new things, try new food, and explore beyond the tourism areas. That's good to do. Certain places, if you can go beyond the tourism areas, take an escort and go during the day. It's the same way if you come into, I would tell anybody to come into Atlanta, and I have. They say, I'm coming to Atlanta, I'm going to be here for 2 weeks. I want to explore the city. I said, explore the city during the day. And there are certain areas you don't need to go to even in the day alone. And it's just the truth. So it's the same way in other countries, every other country. As much as I love Dubai and Ghana, everything ain't peachy cream there. And there's some bad things. And there's some things that's not so nice and not so good. Same, it's everywhere. I don't care what the place is. Mm-hmm. Travel is meant to stretch and expand one to make them a more well-rounded, holistic person, right? One should not travel to have the same experience in the different location. Mm-hmm. Stay away from West End if you ain't a local. If you are a local, Bankhead ain't going into, what's some other places? What's the Uber in Nancy? Little 5 points at night. Mako, wasn't when you was taking those white people and you had to go down this long path or road or something, and they were telling you, turn your Uber location off because if you get a ping out here as a black man, it ain't going to end well for you. Right outside of Atlanta. Absolutely, Tay. So this is how you travel. When you travel, you're supposed to learn different aspects of yourself. And that is the amazing thing about being in Dubai, because of melting pot. 80% of that city is expat. You literally go there and meet the entire world. That was a daily, amazing, amusing phenomenon. You will run into people from places you ain't never heard of, and in seconds be impacted and expanded through a conversation with 5-minute conversation. So that was such spiritual advancement being there all of those weeks and having that experience over and over and over. It just continued to expand you and causes you to experience yourself differently and God differently. Because every time you meet someone, you're meeting a different aspect of yourself and God. Mm-hmm. All right, this has been amazing. It has been great. Thank you, each and every one of you, for participating. And I'm going to let you go and have an amazing evening. If you're on the East Coast, wherever you are in the world, in your day, doing something that you love, enjoy yourself, get some sun. If the sun is out, you need that vitamin D3. And it's also good for your spirituality, especially if you are heavily melanated. It's in your pineal gland. And when you expose the top of your head to the sun, you increase your sensing abilities, and information is communicated to you from heaven. That's due to your melanin. So make sure, Black people, that you are taking time to expose your crown chakra to the sun. Enjoy yourself. I love you. Wolipa love this away. I say, and take care of yourself. And I will see you later. And remember, anybody that touch you is messing with God, because he don't play about you.
Don't know what is this that I feel, but it's really real. A little too much for me. Wanna thank you for the life you give me. Steps I take really is amazing to me. Always there for me. God, it really don't play about me. Don't play about me. God really don't play about me. God really don't play about me. No, he really don't play about me. Really don't play about me. God really don't play about me. No, he really don't play about me. About me, don't play about me. Don't wanna be to me, but I feel all my enemies really underestimated me. I'll sit back, I'm gonna watch them all. One by one they'll fall, and nobody answered their call. God, it really don't play about me. Don't play about me. God really don't play about me. God really don't play about me. No, he really don't play about me. Really don't play about me. God really don't play about me. No, he really don't play about me. God, it really don't play about me. Don't play about me. God really don't play about me. God really don't play about me. No, he really don't play about me. Really don't play about me. God really don't play about me. No, he really don't play about me.